The product I'd like to share with you today is something that every plow truck needs. Now, some of you are going to look at this product and say, that's exactly what I've been looking for. The rest of you don't even realize you need it. One of the things that many of you don't know is that when you have a snowplow mounted on your truck and you're driving down the road, that snowplow actually blocks the natural airflow into the engine, which in turn makes your engine run hotter. And we all know that engines that run hotter wear out faster. The rest of you who have dealt with engine overheating problems know about this. You usually have to pull over to the side of the road or try and drive really slow or drop the plow down so close to the ground just to get the airflow up and over. Well, guess what, guys? This is the solution to your problem. What this is called the Plow Flowmaster. It's actually an air deflector that deflects the air up over your plow and into your engine. So here's an example of the airflow with the Plow Flowmaster installed on the truck. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, you can find them at their website at plowflowmaster.com. We also have links on our website to purchase them at snowmanshow.com. Want to know how to install one of these? I'm going to show you right now. So before you get started with anything, you're going to need a few tools. First off, you're going to need a tape measure. You're going to need a marker or a pencil or something to mark the spots on your plow. You're going to need two 9/16 box wrenches or a 9/16 box wrench and a socket wrench. That's the way I'm going to be doing it. So you're also going to need two 5/8 box wrenches or a 5/8 box wrench and a 5/8 socket wrench, okay? And then you're going to need a 7/16 drill bit and power drill. Okay, so now that we've got all our tools, let's open up our box and get started. Okay, so this is the Hurricane series, and it's powder coat red. They have them in a lot of different colors, but we've got the red plow, the red Boss plow, so those are going to match the plow pretty nicely. So you have your two metal air deflectors, and then you have a box inside that says brackets. You have another brackets box. I like that, everything's labeled nice, and then one that says bolts. Okay, so we'll take those out. That's everything inside the box. Okay, so this is the bolts box. So here we have our one set of bolts and another set of bolts. Two boxes marked brackets. We'll slice those open. Set of brackets. Slice that off. If we can. Okay, so we have two brackets there. We've got something inside here, so that's our safety chain. Okay. All right, so there's all our stuff for one of them. Slice that open. Got our brackets. And our final safety chain. Okay, first things first, so you want to check your installation guide and check and see that all the bolts and fasteners are there. So one of the easiest ways is just to line them all up and count them and make sure all your hardware parts are there before you go any further with the installation. Now the first thing you have to do is figure out which type of mounting option you're going to use, because there's two, okay? First one being the top mounting, which is going to mount right here on the top of the plow, okay? The second option is the rear mounting option, and that mounts right on the back side of the plow here. Now, this option may be personal preference for you, but it also is going to be based on the type of plow you have. With the Boss snow plows, most of them have this rigid top edge that's square and it wraps around. It's very solid, able to mount this on the top. Other plow brands have a rounded top, and when the plow is rounded like that, you're not going to be able to mount this on the top, so you have to choose the rear mounted option. Now with our particular installation, we're mounting it on the top. So let's get started with marking the spots of where our holes are going to be. Okay, so we're going to start with the ripening of our plow. Now the first mark we need to make is 6 inches in from the center edge of the right wing. So let's mark that now. Okay, so there you go. We're 6 inches from the center. We've got our mark. Okay, so the next step we want to do is we want to mark our drill holes, okay? So we're gonna take the bracket and we're gonna line it up right at the edge of our 6-inch mark, okay? And just kind of mark it, you know, generally centered on the blade, okay? I'm gonna mark one mark in the middle of that hole and one mark in the middle of this hole, okay? And then we know our spots where we're gonna drill. So to mount our bracket, the screws that we're going to be using are the 7/16 1.5 inch long. So that's going to be our longer of the two. These are our 7/16 1 inch. These are our 7/16 1.5 inch. We're going to take our bracket. We'll place it centered with those holes. We'll take and put our screw through. On the back side, put the washer, just like that, the washer first, and then the nut, and we'll just hand tighten it, just to get started, okay? We'll take the second one, so that's a bolt, nut, and 2 washers, okay? We'll put the washer, screw side, put it through, put our washer there on the back side, and put our nut on it like that, okay? We'll make sure it's lined up with our original 6-inch mark. Then we're going to take our 5/8 inch socket and 5/8 inch box wrench and make sure that's lined up, and we will cinch it down. And when you tighten it down, don't tighten it down as you do the screws all the way, because you want to make sure that you get it in the right spot just before you cinch it down all the way. So lightly tighten them the first run. And then go back after that and retighten them. Retighten them tight. So we're going to connect this to this, like so. And we will be using the shorter of the two, okay? So that's going to be our 7/16 by 1 inch. These ones we use 1.5 inch. This we're using the 1 inch. 1 bolt, 1 nut, and 2 washers, okay? We'll put a washer in with this nut, like so. We'll put it through this on the back side, drop the washer down on it, and then put the bolt on top of it, okay? Just hand tighten that. If you don't want to use a drill, it's probably good to use a hand wrench, and then you don't tighten it down too much, but just make sure you don't tighten it down too much at first. You just want it a little loose for you. We put this through here, a screw with a washer on it, put it through there, put your washer on the other side, and then take your nut and tighten it down, hand tighten, okay? Now it's just going to be hanging there. And then just want to cinch it. Then we'll take this, tilt it up. That's going to give us our spot over here for our other bracket. The L bracket, just like was the original one we put in. And this piece here, put it on the inside. Take a 1 inch bolt and washer. Put that through there. Okay. Then put the other washer on the back side. And put the nut on top of that. Just hand tighten that down. Okay. Then we'll go back with our box wrench, our drill, making sure not to over tighten at this point, because we want to be able to rotate all this to get it in the right positions. We'll go back at the end and check them all and tighten them. We'll take another 1 inch screw, 1 inch bolt and nut, and we'll put that in. Make sure you got the washer on there. Put it through. We put another washer, and then we take our final nut, cinch that down, lay that down. We'll bend this down, okay, just like that. And then that's going to give us our markings for our drill holes. Make sure it's lined up where you want it. We'll mark our centers of where we want our drill holes. Okay, so we're right about there. And we'll take this, and this should actually just bend. You can just bend this out of the way for now. Now we're going to take our 1.5 inch bolt. We'll take just like the other side, put that through. On the back side, we'll have a washer and a nut. Just going to hand tighten it. Same thing for the next one. Your 1.5 inch bolt, your nut, and 2 washers. Put the washer, same way we did everything else. Okay, so our next step is to install the air shield. So with the air shield here, that's going to be with a 3/8 inch bolt, nut, and washer assembly. Okay, so we're going to take our 3/8 by 1 inch assembly with our nut and washer and 3/8 by 1 inch washer, and we'll just drop it in the hole just like this. And then we'll put our nut and washer assembly on the bottom. We'll hand tighten it. Okay? Now, the longer one, that was the shorter one. The longer one, 1.25 inches, 3/8 by 1.25 inches, okay? Assembly with our washer just like that. We're gonna put it through the second hole, but before we put the nut and washer on the bottom, we're gonna take our safety chain, and that is gonna go on there first. Then, and you may need to find if you have a friend, that'll help too. But here you go. They can help hold it for you. But here you go. We will just tighten them down, but not all the way. Just enough to secure it from not being too wobbly. So there you go, we secured it, so it's there, but it's not too wobbly, okay? We'll take our chain. So with the chain, we're just actually gonna be drilling a hole right in our rib here and securing that, just like that. We've got our first side completely on. We're gonna repeat all the same steps for the other side. And once we have them on, then we will go through the adjustment procedures. So now that we got it all installed on the plow, before we take it out on the road, one of the most important things to make sure is that the safety chains are hooked up. You do not want to go out on the road without those safety chains hooked up. So on your final adjustment here, the Plow Flowmaster is designed so that the shield here is level with the hood of your truck, okay? That's the way it needs to be to get the air in. There's a lot of different combinations of trucks and plows. So your adjustments are going to be very particular to your setup. So for the final step, we're going to actually turn on the truck. We'll have to raise the plow. Now when you raise the plow to kind of check your heights with this, make sure that you're not standing with your feet underneath the plow. Don't get too close. Make sure these are cinched up tight, but not all the way. That way you can just reach and adjust them. Then we'll lower the plow to the ground and then do our final tightening, okay? That's the safest way to do it. You never want to work on the plow really with it in the air. If you're gonna do that, put some jacks underneath. Okay, so you can see how now that we've got it raised in the air, the angles are all wrong. See how it's not level with when the plow is raised with the hood. So we're gonna take it now and we're gonna adjust it. One other thing you wanna make sure of is to adjust your lights properly. The lights can actually reflect off of the Plow Flowmaster and give you a nasty light in the eye. So you just want to make sure that all those adjustments are correct. Now we can't do that right now because it's daytime, but at night, make sure the first time before you go out plowing, Make sure all that's adjusted.